Well, we welcome you all to the Maturi Pavilion in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Exhibition basketball between UW Green Bay, the Phoenix, who have come to town to take on the 15th ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers in exhibition action. The game will be coming up soon. They are currently introducing the Minnesota Gophers to the fans here that have filed into the PAV, a stadium that is usually used for volleyball, wrestling, and gymnastics. Well, now it is used for men's basketball, to our knowledge, for the first time ever. The men's basketball now using this facility for an exhibition game, as the women are now playing a closed scrimmage across the hallway. So thanks for being with us. My name is Ryan Russell with Jake Bringold. The storyline today, there is a basketball game that we will talk about, but this game, all the proceeds for the ticket sales, 100% going to Puerto Rico for the efforts in restoring after Hurricane Maria.
I think this is just such a great benefit and great game for the university to set this one up, not only to get more exposure for the players, but it's going for a great cause, going for all the victims down in Puerto Rico. And, you know, it was so devastating what happened down there. All the damage, you could see it all over the media. It's just a great thing that they're doing here at the U, bringing fans here and donating all the proceeds to help those in need.
The Gophers played in Puerto Rico. They have played a couple times in the Patino era, as well as the Green Bay Phoenix. They played there last year. They spent about a week down there, went 4-0 in Puerto Rico when they last played. So both these teams have a connection. The Gophers contacted UW Green Bay, Lynch Darner, their head coach. They contacted Green Bay first and said, would you be interested in playing this game? And all the money will be going to the American Red Cross and their efforts again towards Hurricane Maria. So Green Bay agreed to it because that's a special place to them too. So both these teams have a lot to be looking to as far as where they're putting this money from this beneficial game. We will play exhibition basketball, 2 20-minute halves as per usual. It'll go as a normal college basketball game. Green Bay rushes up and down the court quite a bit. The Gophers, they play a little bit of that too. This will be their second game in front of a real crowd. Both of them have been exhibition. Their first against Concordia St. Paul a few nights ago on Thursday. As we begin with the Gophers after Lynch won the tip. Here's Amir Coffey, his sophomore year. He gets bumped as he was putting up a shot, and he will go to the line for the and one.
Amir Coffey showing some size there, 6'2", 185 pounds. Sophomore to Eden, 6'8", 195 pounds. Showing a little bit of his strength, getting the ball up and in.
He misses the free throw shot, so Green Bay gets their first look. This is Sukchat Barnes with the ball, or Baines rather. Now Khalil Small hands off to David Jesperson. He goes for three. McBrayer has the rebound. Now a look at Nate Mason. His shot is short, but watch for Mason in his senior year, one of the leaders on this team. Traveling called against Khalil Small, and the Gophers will get the ball off the turnover.
Well, fortunately for these teams, you know, this is an exhibition. It's time for them to work out some kinks before the regular season starts. Get some of these turnovers that could come back to haunt you later in the year in important games, and that was a clear traveling.
Murphy got hit briefly, no shot. Foul came before. Plenty of fans are in here to see these Gophers play, and again, it was $10 for general admission tickets into the PAV, as they call it. Last night, this was the site of the Gophers' victory over Ohio State in women's volleyball. Today, men's basketball. Cameron Hankerson to Khalil Small for three. This is Will Chevalier. Green Bay's got the lead by one. UW Green Bay, they play at the Resch Center. Nate Mason for two.
Wide open lane for Mason to just move inside, get the easy kiss off the glass.
Small at the top, up against McBrayer. He does get fouled. The Resch Center, the home court of the Phoenix, is really close to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Small is at the line to shoot 2. Senior year from Chicago. In addition to all the ticket sales going to Puerto Rico, by the way, today, Jordan Murphy with a dunk. So in addition to the ticket sales, which were $10 each for general admission, all that money went to Puerto Rico. Richard Patino did donate $1 per ticket sold himself. And a quarter of the concession sales as well going to Puerto Rico. It's a great event. Amir Coffey for 3.
Amir Coffey showing some shooting skills there, shooting on the wing. Quite open free for him, though. You don't want to leave him open.
Now Hankerson tries to respond, couldn't sink it. McBrayer moving up quickly for the Gophers. Murphy left all alone, and he cannot hit it.
It's really kind of not his shot, even if he's, in an exhibition game, you're wide open. Might not take the shot, but he's going to want to drive the lane.
Mason comes up with the rebound. Green Bay so far shooting 1 for 6 from the field. Khalil Small into the lane, rejected by Lynch. And Mason turns it into 2.
And that's where Minnesota can be deadly this year with their defensive blocks and getting on the fast break points or fast break opportunities. That's how they can really damage some teams and get some points this year.
Murphy! An excellent start for Minnesota.
Another fast break for Minnesota, another great opportunity. Showing their size advantage on this Green Bay defense.
It is rolled over by Sukjot Baines. McBrayer now for 3, misses. Just about 4 minutes into this one again. Thanks for being with us, and thank you for watching. And for also aiding in the recovery down in Puerto Rico due to the hurricanes they've had. Later on today, we will hear from John Cunningham from the administration of this university's athletic department. He will join us at the beginning of the second half as for now, and we will talk with him about this game and the outlook of this Gophers program in the 17-18 season. High expectations for him. Here's McBrayer missing. They're the 15th ranked team in the country and looked impressive Thursday night. Murphy with the block. And Coffey rolls it in. The Gophers lead by 10.
I believe Coffey already has 7 points today. He had 10 on the game on Thursday, so he's already almost matched it. We're not even halfway through the first half.
So timeout is called on the court. We will return in a few minutes. It is 15-5. The Gophers ahead of UW Green Bay early in the first half. So Amir Coffey will shoot 2 for the Gophers. 14:38 left in this first half in this exhibition game between UW Green Bay and Minnesota. Coffey has his first. So today, of course, playing exhibition basketball, great experience for both teams to play against each other and perform in front of a real crowd once again. But it is all about Puerto Rico, and let me add on to what I told before, too. 25% of concession sales go to the American Red Cross, as do 50% of merchandise sales. In addition, Richard Pitino, $1 per ticket go down to Puerto Rico, too, in the efforts of hurricane relief. Put up and drained by Travion Bell, the freshman, standing at 6'6" from the state of Illinois. McBrayer tried to hand off to Kanate, and a foul called. I believe this is on Hunter Christ.
I think that's actually Isaiah Washington, and that was.
Oh, that is Washington.
Yeah,
yes, not McBrayer. My bad.
I thought it was for a second. He does kind of have the same physique and look, but I saw 11 on his jersey, so the Jelly Man himself is now in the game.
Here's Jordan Murphy up near the basket. He gets fouled. We are up in the crow's nest, as they call it here at the PAV. Here in the across the way, there is no on-the-court broadcast location for basketball games, so we're about a mile away.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, because we're so used to being courtside, used to seeing the players up close, so kind of have to get your eyes used to being this far away and reading numbers.
Murphy shooting. His free throw is a bit short. Washington, the freshman brought in from Harlem, New York, showed off the jelly on Thursday night. The founder of the Jelly Fam. He wears number 11 for the Gophers. Manny Patterson's got the shot for UW Green Bay.
Good job using his size to get inside against Kanate and just putting the ball up, laying it in, getting themselves back with an 8 against the Gophers.
He's at 6'8", 220. Nate Mason for 3.
Shot looks so smooth, looks so good from up here. Nothing but net for Nate Mason.
Patterson with another shot, cannot hit this. UW Green Bay last year, 12-6 in the Horizon League. Top half of that league for 5 years straight. They're the only team to have accomplished that. Now Chris takes a shot for 3. We're seeing Green Bay playing quickly as we were told they would, Jay.
Yeah, they're getting inside now. They've scored now the last, I would say, about 5 unanswered points. And they're getting inside, using their speed, getting good shots now. Kind of took some ill-advised shots. Now they're starting to figure it out, get into a little bit of a rhythm.
Nate Mason now for 3. Once again, Murphy finds the ball. And a whistle does blow, so we will go the other way as Murphy's called. The second foul called against the Gophers here this afternoon. And 2 check in for the Gophers. Jamir Harris and Devontae Fitzgerald together take the floor. So it is now all the number 2s for the Gophers. Kanate, Hurt, Harris, Washington, and Fitzgerald all on the court.
And this is a good lineup for Minnesota. This is a good time for them to get this lineup acquainted to playing basketball, knowing that Eric Curry has been injured, getting a guy to fill in that role, getting Kanate in there, getting a guy like Michael Hurd in, and getting a lot of these guards some playing time.
Washington with a 3-point shot. This goes out of bounds. The Phoenix will get the ball.
Looks like Kanate was pointing at the Green Bay player as if it went out on him, but it looked like it went out on him, Kanate.
Now Christ in the lane. Washington comes up with the rebound. Out to Jamir Harris. So Harris misses on the shot, another freshman here for the Gophers, one of a few brought in. He's from New Jersey. Washington gets fouled on his way up, and he will go to the line for one.
I mean, I think he faked out everybody, even the crowd on that. He had a no-look pass, and he kind of disappeared from where we were between those two Green Bay defenders, and still making his way to the basket and laying it up.
Well, timeout on the floor, immediate timeout. We'll be back in a few when Washington goes to the line. Back at the Maturi Pavilion in the Twin Cities, there's Isaiah Washington. He is a pretty strong recruit brought in by Richard Pitino. A couple years ago didn't go so hot for the Gophers, and those that buckled in are really getting a show this season.
I would say so. 8-23 2 seasons ago, and last year a massive improvement, 16 wins, and Richard Pitino doing a great job in that improvement, earning himself 2017 Big Ten Coach of the Year, making his first NCAA tournament a year ago, making it in the first round as a fifth seed, I should say. But he's doing a great job getting recruits in here and building this team up.
So Lynch is called for the foul. Well, the team this year, too, and this is something we touched on quite a bit Thursday night, they've got great guard depth. And that's something Link Darner, the Green Bay coach, had anticipated. He wasn't totally confident that his team would be able to contain these Minnesota guards, but what Minnesota may lack is if they get into foul trouble with their big guys such as Lynch. Lynch with the dunk now. If those guys get into any foul trouble, that could be real tough for the Gophers with the loss of Eric Curry this year.
Yeah, we saw that last year when they struggled with that foul trouble, and you saw Lynch get out or Murphy get out. They struggled with trying to find that guy, even with Eric Curry, and they're need to figure that out this year.
Harris drains a three-point shot. This was Travion Bell. And Patterson is the one to be called for the foul away from the ball. The Gophers get it back. Last year the Gophers 24-10, 11-7 in the Big Ten. Lynch moving in, using his size. Lynch now has 4 points this afternoon. Washington with a nice pass to Fitzgerald. The passing has been on today for Minnesota. Timeout called on the court. It is 32-14. Gophers playing well at the Maturi Pavilion today. Back to action in the first half, Minnesota and UW Green Bay. PJ Pipes starts it off to Small, moving in. Washington pulls up for a jumper. It is 34-14, halfway through the first half.
Washington showing some shooting ability there rather than just driving the lane.
Another foul here against Green Bay. This will be their 8th foul so far. Link Darner is their head coach. He preaches a fast but not irresponsible style of play. And I spoke with him on the phone the other day, was telling me about how a lot of people have a misconception of his team. They don't play good defense and they don't take good shots, but he says that is obviously not the goal. And that has not been how it's gone this year. He's been proud of how his team has done on that front in practice so far. They lost a lot coming into this year, though. The only one that's a real point-scoring returner is Khalil Small, number 3. They probably lost the most out of anyone in the Horizon League, though, coming into this year, so it'll be a interesting ride for him either way.
Yeah, 10 newcomers coming in this year, so a lot of new guys are going to have to rebuild chemistry, try to get this team together and going for the season.
Washington for 3 got hit in the face afterwards.
Well, we're just talking about Darner. The guy knows how to win. He comes in with over 300 career wins.
Yeah.
333 in career wins and 333 wins in his career. And just his first season here, he went to the NCAA tournament, winning the Horizon League championship, which is what you need to do when you're in a small conference. You know, it's really hard to get that at-large bid when you're out of a small conference like Green Bay. You have to win the conference tournament, which he did in his first season.
This is David Jesperson for 3, the redshirt senior, now a starter this year for the first time. Hurt just connects to Washington. Washington gets it in.
It looks like he wasn't even looking at the basket. He just threw it behind his back, and it made its way in. What a athletic play from Isaiah Washington.
Athleticism is what he's good for. Reggie Lynch with a big block. It does go out of bounds, stays on this Green Bay side. The Gophers on a 13-3 run over the last 3 minutes. Lynch, a school record in blocks last year. Now Dupree McBrayer. And Coffey couldn't tip it in afterwards. Coffey on the second effort, can't hit. So Green Bay takes it back. Small with the rebound against Washington.
Nice play for Green Bay, really taking advantage of Minnesota's mistakes, getting a couple there.
Foul called here against Jesperson. So we pause. 7.5 to go in the opening half between UW Green Bay and Minnesota at the Maturi Pavilion for the first time ever for this men's basketball program. Reggie Lynch, the 2017 Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Last year, 114 blocks, a program record, 8.4 points per game as well. And there's Isaiah Washington, just brought in for his freshman season. Watch for the jelly as we go along in the year.
How will we see it today? Maybe once, maybe twice. I know Williams Arena went ecstatic when he did it on Thursday night.
Right.
It was.
He steps off right now.
Just a crazy ooh and from the crowd.
How'd it go?
Ooh.
Reggie Lynch, yet another block.
I can't really describe an entire crowd, but that's how I kind of heard it.
Fitzgerald with a shot, just brought in this year after, well, not just brought in this year, I shouldn't say that. He was hurt last year, so this is his first action as a Gopher. Khalil Small with the points for Green Bay. But Fitzgerald, originally at Texas A&M, transferred, had to sit out a year, then had to sit out a year with his ACL.
Yeah, he had a similar situation. Eric Curry, he tore his ACL about a month before the season last year.
Chevalier against Lynch has 2 for Green Bay. And a turnover here against the Gophers as Fitzgerald and Lynch couldn't figure it out.
That's
on the pass in.
Sorry for interrupting you, but that's just a silly turnover by a basketball team, and that's one of those turnovers that you cannot give up at all during the regular season, non-conference, conference play. Stuff can come back to bite you.
That is why they do these games, I suppose. This is Hankerson pulling up for 2. UW Green Bay, they will pressure full court. Mason gets fouled, and he does get the shot, so another and one opportunity for Minnesota. Nine fouls against Green Bay thus far. No, 10. That was the 10th one, actually. And we talked about Link Darner. He knows how to win. His motto is RP40. That means relentless pressure for 40 minutes. So with a lot of pressure, the concern is how many fouls will they have and how clean can they keep it.
Yeah, and I think he's doing a good job so far. I mean, in his first 2 seasons, he's won the most games in his first 2 seasons than any other coach in program history, coming in with that RP40 motto. So hopefully he can continue his success in Green Bay.
Small going past a few Gophers. 41-27 Minnesota. Coffey goes out to Mason. All the way over to McBrayer, and Coffey fights his way and cannot hit the shot, but he will go to the line anyway for 2 free throws.
That was some smooth ball movement Minnesota had right around the key. You know, quick, fast, accurate ball movement, eventually catching Coffey, driving the lane, almost getting the and one, but still going to the line for 2.
Coffey misses the first free throw. Second one is good. Barons hits Small. Small trying to squeak his way around Lynch. Lynch blocks Small.
You're not going to get around Lynch and Murphy like that.
And Coffey responds with a dunk.
Catching Coffey wide open in stride, moving in for the easy dunk. Coffey having a heck of a first half.
Now Mason tosses it up, and Murphy couldn't catch it off the glass. Why not show off a little bit?
I'm like trying to get a little bit of style points here in an exhibition. I don't know if Tino will allow you to do that, you know, more than 2 or 3 times, especially in an exhibition, because you're trying to work on the game. But that would have been fun to see if they could have pulled that one off.
McBrayer. Lynch picks up the rebound. The offensive rebounding is what got Green Bay on Monday when they had an exhibition game against Ripon. And we turn around as Lynch is called.
Yeah, that's an easy call. You know, he was swatting at the ball, catching the arm of the Green Bay player.
Again, if you're just joining, pleasure to be with you as this is a charity exhibition game for the American Red Cross down in Puerto Rico, cleaning up after Hurricane Maria. Text Maria, M-A-R-I-A, to 90999 for $10 of a donation. Coffey swatting it out of bounds. Today's game all about Puerto Rico, a place that both these 2 teams we see performing. Puerto Rico holds a special spot in their program's heart, you could say. McBrayer against Small. Mason left all alone. His shot for 3 is short. Gophers beyond the arc. Only 21% today. Mason steals it away. And Gaston Jeju. The turnover into 2 points. The senior from Senegal. PJ Pipes responds, so quick moving here. 46-29 Gophers. 3.5 left in this first half. And again, remember at the beginning of the second half, John Cunningham will join us. Deputy Athletic Director here at the U of M. This is Coffey from inside the key. And Murphy loses the ball as the foul is called. This will be the 12th against Green Bay. But first, a timeout. 3 minutes left in this first half. The Gophers and the Phoenix from Maturi Pavilion. Wherever you're at, thanks again for being with us. Honored to be part of this event with Jake Bringold. I'm Ryan Russell, and I hope you're excited to be watching this one because it's a big event at the University of Minnesota today. And if you want to help out as well, contributing to Puerto Rico, text Maria to 90999 for a $10 donation. Well, on Thursday night, the Gophers displayed great chemistry, coached by Richard Pitino, and so far, Jake, we think it's been looking good again.
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, this team has about 10 or 11 returning players to this team. They have 5 returning starters. You know, you got Nate Mason, Dupree McBrayer, Amir Coffey, Jordan Murphy, Reggie Lynch. All these players are also very experienced, and these players successfully play off each other and able to get plays done and get strategies down. And now they can give their knowledge to the incoming freshmen and continue that trend.
This is Patterson dribbling and traveling. You can see behind Jordan Murphy the environment we're at, the Maturi Pavilion, which is under the same roof as Williams Arena. But this arena usually used for volleyball, wrestling, and gymnastics. Foul called as Coffey was trying to go up, so he will shoot. So we do not have a raised court over here.
I think it's a little odd for Minnesota to be technically playing a home game for the first time on a non-raised court. Definitely unusual for fans.
This is Christ with the ball against Harris. Coffey steals it away. Here comes Coffey with a dunk.
That whole transition was just so smooth for Coffey, just sneaking up. I didn't even see him. He just comes up, grabs the ball, runs down the court. Easy slam for Coffey, and he's having a wonderful first half. Excellent first half, getting points, getting turnovers.
4 turnovers for Green Bay in the last 3.5 minutes. Again, Maria to 99.99. We'll be right back. Just over 2 minutes left in this opening half. Here's TJ Parham finding. Now Parham back at the outside the arc. Bell for 3. Bounces around a bit. And Parham will get the points for Green Bay. Strong first half for the Gophers.
Good defense by Green Bay, shutting down Murphy, taking the ball away.
And this is Travion Bell. And Richard Patino calls a timeout. So we will again go to a break and be back in a few. The Gophers lead 52-33. Mason has 10 points. Coffey has 16 of those 52. This is Jordan Murphy in for Minnesota. 2 points for him, so he has 8 today. Sunday afternoon basketball, UW Green Bay has traveled here for exhibition action. Pipes pulls up for a 3-point shot. 1 minute to go in the first half. Harris for 3 from wide, and Harris drains it.
Now has 6 points and showing his shooting ability from beyond the arc. Minnesota needs some 3-point shooters this year, and he could be one of the main targets.
That is his thing, are those 3-point shots. I want to ask Jake, what are your takeaways from this first half thus far?
Well, Minnesota is clearly dominating this game. I mean, not just looking at the score, but they're just has so much more experience, and they're able to figure out the plays from Green Bay. They're able to read the court a lot better and cut down passing lanes. They're turning over the ball, causing turnovers like we just saw now, and they're able to get down the floor and create passes, get open shots, get their guys open, and get inside and get the balls off the glass and get points.
11 turnovers so far against Green Bay that have been turned into 10 points for the Gophers. Green Bay shot 14 for 41 in the first half. The Gophers so far 21 for 43. It's 49%. foul is called. Another Green Bay foul, Manny Patterson against Bakari Konate. So here we are in the first half, and Patterson has 3 fouls of 14 total called against the Phoenix. Konate has his first. He misses a second, goes off of Harris, trying to go for the rebound. Is a 6-0 run for the Gophers now. One last look for Green Bay. It's Pipes. Works his way all the way in and ends the half with 2 points for Green Bay. Well, a strong half for the Gophers against Green Bay. It is 58-35 in exhibition action. Again, thanks for being with us. All the proceeds from the ticket sales today do go to the relief efforts of Hurricane Maria down in Puerto Rico. A big day here on campus. And when we come back, John Cunningham will join us from the administration here of the U of M Athletic Department. It is a 15-minute halftime, and when we come back is the second half here on BTN Plus. Back here at the Maturi Pavilion in the Twin Cities. Welcome back as we look forward to the second half between Minnesota and UW Green Bay. It's a 58-35 lead for the Gophers. Well, we're joined by John Cunningham, the Deputy Athletic Director here at the University of Minnesota. We thank you for being with us here, John. And I know the answer to this question, but I know a lot of people listening may not. So could you just describe to me what is your role within the athletic department and what do you do?
Sure. Really, I've got 2 sports that I work with closely, football and men's basketball. I'm sports supervisor for those 2 sports, so just a lot of the administrative stuff for them. And then also oversee our external units, so our Golden Gopher Fund, media relations, marketing, and then our Gopher Sports Properties group that sells all of our sponsorships. So that's really my day-to-day.
And this game in particular then, because you supervise men's basketball, how did this game come to be and what does it mean for the department?
Well, the NCAA a few weeks ago decided that they were going to allow us to do these disaster relief games, and so we saw a few other schools start to do it, and so it was an easy decision to do it because we certainly wanted to do something nice for those that were down in Puerto Rico and went through the hurricane down there. And then it was just a matter of getting all of our administration together to put the thing together, and they did a really nice job. A lot of work went into putting the game on in 2 weeks. So, but it was really a pretty easy decision, like I said, to go ahead and do it.
Coffey with 2 points for the Gophers. Now, you came from Syracuse, before that Boise State, so you've had experience all around the country with Mark Coyle. Tell me a little bit about what you see from Richard Pitino. And what are your thoughts on how he compares to some of the best coaches in the country that you've worked with?
Well, I was always impressed with Richard from the time I got here. Even coming off of a difficult season, obviously we arrived after they won eight games the year before. And I had heard really good things. I actually had a good conversation with Coach Boeheim before I left Syracuse about Richard, and he said that he was a great recruiter and one of the best young coaches in the country. So he was very positive about who he was and what he could do. And so when I got here and got a chance to meet him and get to know the players a little bit and see his team and his culture, very impressed. And obviously last year, everything kind of came together with this team, and that had a lot to do with Richard and fighting through some adversity the year before.
And now this team this season, I know we've only had one exhibition game, but how does this team look to you so far this year? How does this team look?
Boy, they're fun to watch, number one. I mean, if you come out to Williams Arena this winter, you're gonna have a good time because they're exciting. It's a really good mix of seniors and juniors and sophomores and freshmen. Obviously, the leaders in Nate Mason and Jordan Murphy are going to really gel the team together, and they have for the time that they've been here. And then you have some future pros out there too. I mean, Amir Coffey is going to be really, really good this year. And Lynch is obviously a great player. And then the exciting freshman with Isaiah Washington and then also Jamir Harris coming in.
There's a lot of excitement about this program lately, and what I was told from Jake Ricker is he says there's 1,000 more season tickets sold this year, going up from 6,100 to 7,100 overall, and then for students over 1,000 too, about 1,200 to 2,200. So what does that say about Gophers fans? There's a lot of excitement about this program, and they're here right now, and they'll be here for next week against USC Upstate. It's really an exciting time around here.
It is. I think that they obviously saw the product on the court last year, and it's easy to get excited about this team because of all the different pieces that we have. But, we had 98% renewal rate of our season ticket holders,
wow.
and that's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
You usually get a natural attrition of a few more percent than that. So 98% renewal and then 1,000 on top of that. And then, the thing that we were talking off air about a little bit is just our student section and how excited I am about the Barnyard this year because they sold out of season tickets, and we just need them to show up and be loud because that can change the game, immediately when that student section shows up like that.
And I feel like the fun part is it's not just men's basketball. All the programs seem to have the excitement around them.
Absolutely. Volleyball, another fantastic year. Soccer played really well. They're gonna be on the bubble here to see if they can get in the NCAA tournament, but they had a really good year as well. PJ Flex brought a lot of excitement to our football program, and it's got to build a little bit, but we're going to get there on that side of things too.
I've kind of a funny question to ask you. What would be your pitch for more people to come on out for Gopher basketball this year?
Well, my pitch always starts with Williams Arena because I think it's one of the best places to watch a college basketball game in the country. And so I would just say that when that place gets rocking, there's not a better ticket in the Twin Cities. And so that's where my pitch would start, and then I would shift to, the 5 guys that are on the floor at any one time are going to be, future pros, whether they're NBA or playing in Europe. I mean, we have future pros on this team, and we're going to compete, have a great Big Ten schedule, and a great non-conference schedule as well. So absolutely a fun ticket to have and come out and watch the Gophers play.
And then I must ask, what's the status on the Athletes Village? Do you have an update for the listeners on that?
Sure. Everything you want to hear right now, which is on time and on budget.
Good.
So we're looking to start to move in January so that when our student athletes come back from break that they can move right into those new digs and get a chance to experience all that has to offer. So it's a game changer. We've talked about it for a long time. It's really going to put us on the forefront of facilities in the Big Ten, and we're just really excited about it. If you have a chance to drive around Dinkytown, you can certainly have a look at it. It's taken shape and looks great.
Any final words on today's game, perhaps?
Well, we just really appreciate everybody coming out. Obviously, we're raising money for a great cause. We looked at this game as an opportunity to raise money for those that were affected by the hurricane down in Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands. And we actually have a student athlete from Puerto Rico on our volleyball team. And then Jordan Murphy's family is from the U.S. Virgin Islands. So a connection right there. And so it was really important for us to give back a little bit. And we think it's gone really well. So appreciate everybody coming out.
Well, thank you very much for your time, John Cunningham.
Absolutely.
It has been a pleasure to have you on the broadcast, and we'll see you around at Williams Arena this year.
Thank you for all you guys do. Appreciate
it. All right,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Thank
That
you.
is John Cunningham, the Deputy Athletic Director here at the University of Minnesota. We'll be right back in the second half at 68-49 Gophers. All right, back to work, second half. Just moments ago joined by John Cunningham, the deputy AD here at the University of Minnesota. Jordan Murphy with a dunk to resume play from Washington. It is 70-49 Gophers. They have looked great today. Once again, this is a charity exhibition between UW Green Bay and the Gophers. Washington pulling up. And I believe this will be a foul called on Kanate.
That'll be Kanate's first personal foul of the day, I believe. He's done well in the first exhibition game and now today, managing his fouls. And that's something we have touched on numerous times already in this broadcast, in the previous broadcast. And he needs to limit those fouls. He's going to be a guy that needs to step up.
A three-point shot by Travion Bell for Green Bay. A good shooting team as described by their head coach, Lynch Darner. Lost 8 players last year that they must replace. Great opportunity for him today against the 15th ranked team in the country. Coffey with the steal and the finish.
Coffey's day just keeps on going. He now has 22 points. Leads all in scoring. Really capitalizing on that dunk.
Coffey's career high is 30 points. This is exhibition, but we'll watch for that mark. PJ pipes for 3, can't hit it. But Richard Pitino described Coffey as a, quote, underrated scorer. How about Kanate now with a dunk?
Breaking through that contact and getting up and slamming it in, and now he has a chance to go to the line for another point for the three-point play.
Three-point shot missed by Travion Bell. And there is no shot as the foul was put onto Mason. Officially 2,381 is our attendance here at Maturi Pavilion this afternoon for exhibition action to benefit the relief efforts of Hurricane Maria down in Puerto Rico. Timeout on the court, back in a bit. There you see the message, $99.99 Maria for a $10 donation. Jordan Murphy, his junior year from San Antonio, and as mentioned by John Cunningham a little bit, some family in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is all a hurricane relief charity game today. And if by chance there's anybody in those areas that have been affected by the hurricanes, we thank you for being with us, and we support you and will be with you. We're happy to have this event for you. Mason with a three-point shot. Nothing but net.
Open three for Mason. That's one of his areas that he does best. Can't leave a senior like Nate Mason open on those shots.
15 points for him and an 8-0 run for the Gophers over the last 65 seconds of play. Konate with a nice pass and a nice finish.
Konate's having an excellent second half so far. He now has 8 points. Getting inside, showing his strength and his size that he can bring to this team and fill that role that for Eric Curry.
So Bell is called for the foul, his third. The Gophers will get the ball back. Those are fouls that can't happen.
Still see a full court defense there for Green Bay.
It's kind of the deal with Darner too. He wants to wear them down. He'll sometimes even go 4 or 5 point guards deep on the roster to try and get the Gophers tired. Sort of Darner's philosophy.
I think Minnesota's doing a good job weaving around them. I think they've done all right pressuring Minnesota when they're inbounding the ball, but as soon as Minnesota can get past half court, they're able to open up the floor, get inside, create opportunities, and that's a big reason why they're leading by now 27 points in this exhibition game.
Now 28. 2,381 in attendance here today. Pipes tries to go around Murphy. Coffey!
Coffey just keeps on rolling. He just keeps on moving.
24 points.
Blasting right around that Green Bay defense. They had no chance. Gets up. Another slam dunk for Coffey.
This is Washington. And unfortunately, PJ Pipes is on the ground. Seems to be in a bunch of pain here for Green Bay.
It looked like Washington really faked him out on a move and literally may have been an ankle breaker. I'm not, making any conclusions or assumptions there, but Washington pulled a nice move on him and he took a weird tumble to the ground. Awkward tumble to the ground.
So he gets up and walks off on his own power. It's timeout on the court. It is 86-56 Gophers. 10 dunks today for the Gophers. They're on a 16-2 scoring run right now over the last 2.5 minutes. Washington right there in the center of your screen. Founder of the Jelly Fan. Just had a pause in action. PJ Pipes did get up and walk off the court on his own. We hope that he's all right. Short shot from Will Chevalier.
He's not going to get a good shot on Murphy when he's pulling him or pushing him back like that.
This is a Minnesota foul on Jordan Murphy. Again, 2,381 here in attendance. That is $2,381 less dollars for Richard Pitino, as he will be making a $1 donation for each fan in attendance. And then 25% of concession sales, 50% of merchandise sales, 100% of ticket sales all go to Puerto Rico. Mason steals it away, but a foul call.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to donate after all the ticket sales and concession sales and all the people. Hopefully they will donate a great amount that will really impact and help those in need down in Puerto Rico. It's just such a great thing they're pulling off here at the University of Minnesota. And these relief games are, as Johnny Cunningham said, other schools have been doing these for hurricane victims and other disasters. And for schools to do this, I think it's just a great thing for the sport of basketball and especially college basketball.
How about this fight shown by Sukjat Baines? This is Hunter Christ. And Murphy comes up with the rebound. .30 lead for Minnesota, 10.5 minutes to go. And Coffey has 2, so that puts him at 26 points this afternoon.
That was actually a nice move by Coffey. He switched hands from his right to his left and just lightly tossed it off his hand into the basket. Nothing but net.
Jesperson along the base, and whistle blows.
It was on. I was just about to say that Coffey having a great day so far, adding to his points total now to 26.
Harris, Fitzgerald, and Hurt all check in replacement of Coffey, Murphy, and Mason. This is Chris, fouled by Harris.
It's a good effort by Chris to get inside and try to put the ball over Kanate. Fortunately, it does not go, but he'll go to the line for 2.
2 points in the last 4 minutes for Green Bay.
Yeah, massive 18-2 run. Minnesota has been hot over that course of 4 minutes. Minnesota's hit their last 7 shots.
Now Washington, past 1. Harris pulls up for a 3. His third three-point field goal of the night.
It was a nice crossover move to kind of fake out the defender.
Afternoon, I suppose.
And still getting a shot on that left wing through the defender.
Hankerson has 2 points for UW Green Bay. It is 91-60.
Minnesota could very well hit the 100-point mark for second straight game, although exhibitions.
Taken away by Hankerson, but this will stay on the Minnesota side.
And they're calling a kickball on Green Bay.
Washington again, the freshman from Harlem. New York's Mr. Basketball, brought here by Richard Pitino, particularly Kimani Young knew him back in NYC, and here he is ready to perform at this level. The referees will review the previous play. We'll talk to you when they have a decision. So the Gophers do get the possession. It was a discussion of a kicked ball, Jake.
Yeah, I believe that they don't know if whoever kicked the ball or if it kind of an odd situation. Looked like it was blatant kick on Green Bay, but not a bad thing to go back and review. Get used to that kind of technology before the season.
Washington's jump shot. He is fouled. 24 fouls total called against UW Green Bay today. 10 in this half. Washington hits this free throw.
Yeah, that is a big number, and they're going to want to limit that, reduce that amount of fouls when you come the season, because when you start playing, especially in the non-conference, you play some bigger opponents and you go into the Horizon League, which is pretty competitive year in and year out. You got to limit those fouls, reduce those fouls, and take away those points for teams that they can get at the free throw line. Limit points is what limiting fouls does.
A couple took some swats at it. Small is blocked once again. Small has had a great deal of action. Real close to the basket, only at 6'2". Going up against the likes of Reggie Lynch and Bakari Konate.
Green Bay having a tough time getting around Minnesota's 2-3 zone they set up. But there will be a foul called. Good aggressive drive there by Green Bay and drawing the foul.
It's a very unique venue for this exhibition game. Now Small gets past Fitzgerald. Again, the PAV, officially the Maturi Pavilion, renamed this year. Michael Hurt along the base has two. His first basket that he makes today. Harris will rush back for the Gophers and misconnect to Hurt.
I can see what Harris was trying to do, trying to catch Hurt on stride. He would have had an open lane to the basket, but just over the reach of Hurt and out of bounds, Green Bay ball.
Chevalier over the hand of Fitzgerald, and he has three. Khalil Small leads Green Bay with 16. Chevalier has 10 in second for his team. Devontae Fitzgerald. Small driving.
He got in. He got a nice effort getting inside, but you got to finish on those plays when you can get past Minnesota.
Washington, what a move. Behind the back. Now Washington has 15 points today. Harris for three. 97-65. Now Small. And traveling called against Harris. Timeout called. On the floor. Well, the Gophers, 97 points, have looked every bit the 15th ranked team in the country against UW Green Bay. Back in just a moment. Six minutes, 40 seconds left in regulation between Minnesota and UW Green Bay. Minnesota shooting 58% today from the field. Small is hit by Kanate and Fitzgerald. We'll see who the foul is called on. It is Fitzgerald. The first free throw for Small here is good, so he has now 17 points.
I would say one thing, one positive for Green Bay, despite being down about 30 points, they are 100% from the free throw line and continue to stay that way. Perfect 7 for 7.
Washington pulls up for the jumper. Travion Bell over to Barnes. Under 6 left. Barnes with 3. This one is short. He gets his own rebound, and Hurt pokes it out of his hands. Barnes shoves the ball up to Washington's face. So a foul against Green Bay. Baines, rather. I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name a few times. The Sukjat Baines from British Columbia. Washington will try and get the Gophers to 100. And he does. 18 points for Washington, 6 for 7 on the free throws too, and that's something he struggled with a little bit on Thursday. Seems to be doing all right today.
And that's something he needs to get better at because he's an aggressive player and he will be getting inside, getting fouled a lot.
Washington does get fouled. Can't get the layup.
That goes with my point, even kind of proves my point there. He's going to be getting the line, driving the lane a lot this year whenever he's playing, and a lot of ways for teams to stop him. Will draw the foul, and he will need to capitalize at the charity stripe this season. And he's doing that today, 8 for 9.
Gophers, 11 of their last 13 shots have been good. Green Bay 0 for their last 6. And it's a 6-0 run over the last half a minute for the Gophers.
I would say this has been a game of runs for the Gophers. It's constantly going on those 8-0 runs, 16-2 runs, limiting shots from Green Bay.
Harris after accepting a pass from Washington. This is poked out by Harris. So Green Bay is a very young team. Again, we talked about how they lost 8 players from last year, and that's going to be the challenge for them, is a bunch of newcomers to the team. A 3-point shot for TJ Parham. Washington, an no-look pass to Fitzgerald. And this is 3-second call, I believe.
I believe so. Turned it over, and you don't see a lot of those calls. A lot of times teams can manage that, but Fitzgerald was definitely in the paint far too long.
103-70. Gophers on top of UW Green Bay. Next up after this one, the Gophers will host USC Upstate for the home opener. That'll be right here on BTN Plus on Friday the 10th of November. Chris pulls up and cannot get the 2-point shot. Washington passes to Harris, who dribbles in, and Harris. Now he's got 11 points today.
Yeah, we see all of Harris' points so far have been from beyond the arc, and we saw some of his speed getting inside and laying it in.
So USC Upstate is the opener. After that, it's at Providence, and that'll be on FS1. And then 3 in a row, Niagara, Western Carolina, and Alabama A&M for the Gophers. Right around then, the end of November, is when it really starts to heat up for the Gophers, a tough end to their non-conference schedule.
Yeah, they take on UMass, Bama, and Miami, who's ranked 13th in the country. So definitely a tough stretch for Minnesota coming up at the end of the month.
Back in a moment. Once again, 90999, text Maria for a $10 donation to Puerto Rico, and that's what this game's all about. After this, UW Green Bay, they go to DeKalb to play Northern Illinois, and then back home at the Resch Center against Lakeland. And then beginning on December 28th, they start Horizon League play. Oakland is the #1 team in the conference. That is from Link Darner. That's who he believes is the team to beat for his Phoenix team. He feels confident, although young. His RP40 method may pay great dividends once again this year. Again, the last 5 seasons, the top half of the conference, the only team to be able to do that.
And they've also made the postseason 5 straight years. That isn't just the NCAA tournament. There's the NIT National Invitational Tournament, which is a 32-team tournament. Then you also, like last year, they have the College Basketball Invitational, what they made, which is for teams that don't quite make it to the NIT, but still pose a good conference record out of the smaller conferences. They also have the CBT College Basketball Tournament for similar teams. And it's not, like I said, it's not NCAA tournaments, but it is still postseason nonetheless. And he's been able to get him to the postseason in his first 2 years here.
Shot taken from afar by Hankerson for 3. Now, as for now, it appears Minnesota will win this exhibition, but they still did put up 76 points against the Gophers so far. This is exactly the high-scoring game that we imagined. Washington for 3 banks it. So 105-76 is a score right now, and still counting. Parham for 3. So now Green Bay's on a 9-0 run.
I think a result of that.
Konate from a nice pass from Washington.
Nice play from Washington to Konate, but my point about Green Bay I was going to hit was they're doing a good job getting inside and like making passing lanes like we just saw there. And that's why they've been able to put up over 80 points today. They've been able to get inside and find little holes in this Minnesota defense and take advantage of them and get them up. But I think what's really killing them right now is the turnovers. They have 17 turnovers, and Minnesota has been able to capitalize off those turnovers, 17 points to 9.
This is Michael Hurt. Now 5 points today after he hits a 3.
Going to see a lot of playing time from, I think, a guy from Michael Hurt this season. If Lynch or Murphy were to get into foul trouble, he will be a guy to come in, a go-to guy to come in for the Gophers.
Now Small passes over to Travion Bell. Minute and a half left. Washington goes to Harris once again. The freshman to the freshman repeatedly today. Washington for three. 24 points for Isaiah Washington.
It looked like Green Bay's man-to-man defense was kind of stalling Minnesota there on that possession, but Isaiah Washington getting a great look from the corner. Sinking the shot, nothing but net. Putting Minnesota now with up 32 points. They have over 110 points in this game.
So again, nearly 2,400 in attendance here today. Each of those, $10 each for a donation to Puerto Rico, as well as 25% of concession sales heading to the American Red Cross, as well as 50% of merchandise sales and $2,400 donated by Richard Patino. A great event put on here this afternoon, and it has been a pleasure to be a part of it. The Gophers are up by a bunch over Green Bay towards the end. Your takeaways from what we've seen?
Well, I think Minnesota's done a great job with pressuring Green Bay. I think cutting off their lanes, their defense. We've seen a transition from a little bit of man-to-man to 2-3 zone. And they just outman. They've had more size, more experience, like I touched on earlier. They're outplaying them. They're a lot faster, a lot quicker, able to get around Green Bay. But Green Bay's doing a good job still getting inside on some opportunities, but their turnovers are costing them. Minnesota's defense is doing a great job committing turnovers, and it'll be interesting to see Minnesota's defense play like this against bigger and better opponents as the season comes along.
So we will wind down. The Gophers will win over UW Green Bay in exhibition action. 115-86 at the Maturi Pavilion. Well, the first time ever the men have played basketball in this arena, and it went very well for them, putting up 115 points. And once again, we thank you for being with us, as this has been a great event put on at the University of Minnesota. Thank you to both UW Green Bay and these Gophers for their efforts today in supporting those that have been affected by the hurricanes down in Puerto Rico. It has really been a fun event to see, and it was good competitive basketball for much of the game. The final score is 115-86. I'm Ryan Russell with Jake Bringold, and we say so long. We'll be back on Friday for the USC Upstate game, the home opener at Williams Arena for the Minnesota Gophers. Everyone have a good day. 115-86 the final.